Welcome to the Hyperpolyglot Activist, Learn Languages, Make a Difference. My name is Dr. Carlos Yebra Lopez, and today we're going to talk about how vanity reps are hurting your language learning goals, particularly with language apps. Now, what are vanity reps? Reps stands for repetitions. So when we're going to Duolingo or Memrise or other language learning apps, we are doing a series of words or sentences. Those are reps. Now, vanity reps are those reps that you just make to obtain points, to obtain a certain number without taking enough time to assimilate the linguistic content of that sentence. Let me illustrate this with an example whose relevance will soon become apparent. The other day I was at the gym and I was lifting weights. And I was in this leg curl exercise where you're just targeting your hamstrings, isolating that muscle. And I had a lot of weight on. And I was very proud of my effort. So I was doing a lot of reps with a high weight. Therefore, I assumed that I was doing something great. So at that point in my head, it was something like this.
More reps, more weight. I have to keep me functional best. I'm the same, nobody can stop me. And everybody stopping me.
And surely enough, somebody could. In this case, one of the coaches. I was there at the gym. He approaches me and then he says, "Excuse me, sir, can I say something to you?" And I thought, uh-oh. And then he says, "You know, I was just seeing you doing this exercise and I said to myself, this is not exactly the right proper form. So I think you're defeating the whole purpose of this exercise because you're putting more and more weight. You're completing the reps, but if those reps are not done with the proper form, you're actually hurting your gains rather than helping them. And so you will be much better off just dropping a lot of weight and doing just minimal weight with proper form. This is how you do it. Okay, put your feet here in this position, and then your hands here in this position, and your lats over there, and that's how you do a perfect rep. So for the next 2-3 weeks, just if you want to, just focus on this much weight, which was way less than what I was doing, but with proper form. And that's how you make progress, because right now you have a muscle imbalance where this part of the muscle is very developed and this other one is almost not developed at all. So that's how you get your hamstring pulled. That's how you get injuries. And I said, okay, point well taken. The man is right. I am not. I am going to learn and improve. And then I said, thank you very much, sir. Have a great day. And when he left, the philosopher in me started thinking, isn't this exactly the same that happens when we're trying to learn languages through apps? So we're now on Duolingo. If we want to do reps, we have to click this icon, which, by the way, is a dumbbell. So it's using iconography for the gym to establish a parallel with what happens when you train for language learning. So it's not just me drawing weird analogies. This analogy has always been in place, to be honest, between working out physically and doing reps in language learning. So we start, right? And we see, okay, chill. Okay, this one.
好久不见，你怎么样？
Yeah, okay.
好久不见，你怎么样？
Okay,
你
next one.
好，好久不见。
Hello, long time no see. Okay, Jin,
Jin.
okay. Here we
好
go.
久不见，
Long time no see. Okay, perfect.
我最近很忙，
Okay,
我最近
Okay,
很忙
Okay,
久。
sure, yeah.
我的家人最近不错，我的家人最近不错。
Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay.
好久不见，你怎么样？
我一会儿见他， 我一会儿见他近，
Perfect.
一会儿见，一会儿见。
Okay.
我一会儿见我的医生，我一会儿见我的医生。
最近怎么样？最近怎么样？
Okay, yeah, fine. Perfect.
一会儿见。
That's all. Okay, perfect. There you go. Easy, right? Easy. Easy, right? And I can get all excited again and play that song that we were listening to, like, oh man, look, I just finished 10 points in Mandarin Chinese in less than 1 minute. See how fast I was? See how good I am at Mandarin Chinese, huh? I'm the Polyglot superstar. I'm a genius. I get this. Mandarin Chinese and nothing on me. Can you see the parallel with what happened to me in the gym? Exactly. I'm just focusing on the quantity over quality. And as a result, not only I'm not making progress in my Mandarin Chinese, I'm actually hurting my prior progress because I'm not paying attention to the way the ideograms are designed, to how do you pronounce each of the ideograms, to the syntactical features of the sentence. So there is so much value that I'm missing on by just trying to hit that number of points to just feel good about myself and be able to tell myself and other people, look, see how many points I scored today on Duolingo or in this other particular language learning app. Now compare that to what we are about to do now, which is to take our time with every single repetition. No vanity reps, only reps with perfect form, meaning we take our time to analyze every single linguistic element and try to derive as much value as possible, and only then move to the next sentence. Okay, 认为. Okay, is that the correct pronunciation?
认为
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 认为. See, now I'm going to make a note on how to draw these two ideograms. And I'm going to actually draw them 3 times so that it sticks better in my mind. Okay, and now I'm going to make a note that 认 is the 4th tone and that 为 is the 2nd tone. 4th, 2nd. All right. And only now do I move to the next sentence.
认为
认为. Then again, this is another opportunity for me to really drill these 2 ideograms in my mind and to get myself to draw them better than last time. I'm also paying close attention to the intonation of 认 and then 为. That is a 2. That is a 4th tone and then a 2nd tone.
板
Ban. I'm going to hear it again to make sure I heard it right.
板
Ban. I'm going to pay attention now to how extended that A is or how short it is.
板板板板板
Ban. That's a 3rd tone, right? So I'm going to make a note that it's ban. It's a 3rd tone.
板
Check. Perfect.
我不同意这个决定
我不同意这个决定. Okay, so we have the subject,
我
negation particle,
不
the verb,
同意
I don't agree. I don't agree. 我不同意这
这个
个
决定
So that would be I don't agree with this decision. So I make a note of the translation. I don't agree with this decision. It's always better if you write things down than if you just type it or copy and paste what the translation means, because when you write things down, your brain is working harder, and as a result, you're making more gains. I don't agree with that decision, so now it's 我不同意这个决定. Okay, decision. And I hear it again in slow motion.
我不同意这个决定我不同意这个决定
And I repeat afterwards. Now I play full speed.
我不同意这个决定我不同意这个决定
我不同意这个决定
我不同意这个决定
And I repeat afterwards. And now I move to the next one. Ban. So I'm actually not too sure what the right answer is.
生
This is not the right answer.
烦
Fan, this is not the answer.
去
She is not the answer.
板
That is the answer. Ban.
板
I click again so that I can hear the difference between this ideogram and other ideograms.
板生板板
Now, I was not aware of these ideograms, so I'm going to draw the ideogram on my notebook so that I can recall it better. Again, I draw it once, I draw it twice, and I draw it 3 times. Okay. Now move on.
明天我跟老板开会。
明天
明天
我跟
明天我跟老板开会。
老板
开会。
Okay. Verify. I have a meeting with my boss tomorrow. I have a meeting with my boss tomorrow. So in Mandarin Chinese, we would say, in terms of word order, 明天, so tomorrow, I, with my boss,
明天我跟老板开会。
跟老板，明天我跟老板 tomorrow I with my boss meeting
明天我跟老板开会。
开会
明天我跟老板开会。
开会 So I pay attention to the translation, but also to the different word order in Mandarin Chinese, where we have the time, then the subject, then the person with whom you're having the meeting or your company, and then the noun meeting. I make a note of the word order to make sure I remember it later on when I've already finished this exercise. And I move on to the next sentence. Do you agree? Okay.
你同意吗？
Okay, now this is a good opportunity for me to remember that in Mandarin Chinese, typically when we ask questions, we have to always finish with the particle ma at the end.
我们几点开会？
我们7点开会。
我们
7
几点开会？
So at what time do we have the meeting? Right? What time is our meeting? So again, word order is important here. It's literally we, what time, meeting. We, what time, meeting. So I make a note of this word order, and I want to listen again to the pronunciation because getting the tones right goes a long way in Mandarin Chinese.
我们几点开会？我们几点开会？我们几点开会？
Now I play the full speed so I can get the normal rhythm of the conversation.
我们几点开会？
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 我们几点开会？ Okay. Make a note of 几点 with the ideograms are here. And then move on.
你同意吗？
Again, do you agree? Do you agree?
公司不满意我的决定。
公司
公司
不满意
我
我的
的公司不满意我的决定。
决定 Verify. And here I have new words. The company is not happy with my decision. But literally, what this is saying is company not satisfied my decision. So it's dropping the article there. It's just saying company, 公司不 not satisfied or happy 满意 my decision with my decision. But again, it's dropping with and it's just saying my decision. 我的决定。
公司不满意我的决定。
公司不满意我的决定。
公司不满意我的决公司不满意我的决定。公司不满意我的决定。
决定 Again, there are always tones or pronunciations with which you struggle, so you want to play it again and again and again. In my case, I struggle with the last word, with decision in Mandarin Chinese, so I'm going to play it again.
公司不满意我的决定。
决定，决定，决定。Okay. All right. Now, 举。Okay, play it again.
举
Play it again.
举
Is this an ideogram I already know? It's not. Maybe I've seen it a couple of times, but I'm not too familiar with it. So I'm going to have to draw it 3 times. Draw it 3 times. Okay. Draw it 3 times. Hear it again.
举
And I make a note that it's the second tone. It's the second tone. 举
你认为他的表现怎么样？你认为他的 你认为他的表现怎么样？
她的表现
表现
怎么
怎么样？
So what do you think of her performance? What do you think of her performance? But literally, what he's saying is, you think her performance how? You, 你
你认为他的表现怎么样？
认为 think 她的 her 她的 her
你认为他的表现怎么样？
表现 performance 怎么样 how? So I make a note that when we want to pose questions with how, we place how 怎么样 at the end of the sentence as opposed to at the beginning, which we do in English.
反
But we've already seen this one, so I can skip a little bit.
公司很满意他的表现。
公
公司很满意他的表现。
So the company is happy with his performance. Literally, company very satisfied his performance. Again, we drop the article there. We also drop with. We made this decision based on what everyone needs. So here, we're going to, again, pay attention to word order and start with based on what everyone needs. We made this decision. So how do we say based on what everyone needs? Based on
根据
大家
大家
的
的
需
需要，
based on what everyone needs, 我
我
们
们
做了这个
这个
决
决
定。
定。
There you go. So I'm making note that we invert the order and we say based on what everyone needs, we made this decision. And that to make decisions, we used the verb literally to make 做 and then the particle for the past 了 做了 made 做了 made this 这个决定 decision. Great. And finally, a sentence we've already come across, so we're not going to spend too much time here. 公司
公司
很
很
满意
满意
他的
他的表现。
表现. Okay. There we go. And we just finished. So compare those reps with the reps that we did at the beginning of the video. Can you tell the difference? We scored exactly the same amount of points, but in the first case, we barely lingered on any of the sentences, and in the second case, we broke them down ideogram by ideogram, word by word. We analyzed the syntactical structure, etc. That is an exercise with genuine, legit reps. In the first case, we just focused on quantity over quality. In the second case, we prioritized quality over quantity. Surely you might object, well, you know, in the second case, this was just too much work, too much time. I don't have that much time. That's why I would rather score the 10 points and do it more briefly, do it more shortly than spend 20 minutes in just 10 reps. This is too much for me. I can't do this. Well, precisely. That's why many people think that Duolingo is useless, because they use it to play languages rather than to learn languages. What we did in the first case was playing languages with a little bit of learning on the side. In the second case, we learned languages with a little bit of games and fun on the side. And it is entirely up to you. Which combination do you favor? It's your life. You choose how to devote your time. I'm just here telling you the difference between both and encouraging you to become aware that language learning is not a matter of numbers. It's not about quantity. It is really about quality. Language learning is really about acquiring the ability to use language for specific purposes, as opposed to hitting a certain number of repetitions, especially if those repetitions do not have a perfect form. So I hope this was useful to you and that you now look at the repetitions that you do on language learning apps in a different light. And as always, thanks for watching.